Hello, sports fans, and welcome once again to yet another edition of MSU Sports Circle, the defining voice in all things sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, joined as always by my good colleagues Matt Johnson and Justin Neely. Now, fellas, no surprise, you know how the show goes. We're going to start things off with a little bit of college football. Now, what we got on tap for us today, the top 5 teams in college football shake down a little bit like this. I'll read them off to you. Number 1, LSU. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Oklahoma State. Number 4, Stanford. And number 5, Boise State. Now, of those teams, which two, you're only allowed to pick 2, which 2 do you most likely see in the national championship? Justin, I'll start with you.
I said it at the beginning of the season, the very first episode we have, I see a SEC versus Big 12 showcase. I'm going to go ahead and say LSU. They're going to win it all. They will be accompanied by Oklahoma State, who's undefeated, or quite possibly, how everything plays off, Oklahoma.
All right. Now, I hear what Justin's saying. Big 12, SEC. What do you say, Matt?
I agree, but I'm going to throw a little twist on that. I'm going between LSU or Alabama. I say either one. Whoever wins when they play goes to championship, and I really can't call that against, maybe, let's throw another curveball out there, maybe Oklahoma State.
All right, so I agree with both of you. I really think that it's going to be SEC Big 12, and for the reason being, in my opinion, I don't know if you guys agree with me, those are the top 2 conferences right now in college football. We talked about it on this show week in, week out. They are not only just power conferences, but they are speed. And people on ESPN, what do they say? What does Lee Corso say, fellas? Speed kills, my friend. But I'll ask you this, so are we, now it's not to say that we're not giving any love to Stanford or Boise State, but why won't Stanford or Boise State make it?
Straight the schedule. Like Boise State, I mean, who have they played? I mean, is it Georgia? Is that the only team is that the only notable team?
At the beginning of the season,
Georgia?
that's it.
And are they, honestly, Georgia might be your lower caliber team in the SEC this year with their coach possibly on the hot seat. So Boise State, their conference, it really hurts them. I know that the schedule is, the record is beautiful, but it's not going to happen.
Fair enough. Now, Justin, why would it be that Stanford would not necessarily have a chance? They're undefeated. Now, they caught a break against USC. I will admit that. Triple overtime. I think USC's coach kind of, didn't make the right call necessarily. Could have won the game. But why won't Andrew Luck and company make the national championship game?
I'm going to have to piggyback off Matt. When you got teams like Alabama playing LSU, LSU playing Alabama, Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State, you have a lot of powerhouse teams every week, week in, week out, dog fighting for these top 3 positions. When you take into BCS championship contenders, strength of schedule is going to be a very big play.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And speaking of big play, are you ready for our college player breakdown? Now, fans, no need to adjust your TV sets. This is not deja vu. Yes, Case Keenum, again, is our college football player breakdown. Justin, would you please tell us why?
I mean, we talked about him last week, and, we made it a point to say he had one good game. He put up Madden-type numbers. We all determined, was he going to be able to do this again? Consistency. There was no lack of, we didn't doubt his talent, we doubted his consistency. This boy had 534 passing yards. That wasn't what was impressive. 9 passing touchdowns. 9 passing touchdowns. He's still performing like a video game. I mean, there's no more doubt in me. He is a true football player. He's legit, and he's here to stay.
Matt, your thoughts?
I'm just riding along with you. Let's just keep this performance up. It's just incredible what he's doing. Me personally, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't see this consecutive another week just doing this, but he really just shut me up. He's blown away. We're just gonna just ride and just see where he can go, because where he's going, who knows where his season ends at.
I would like to hope that the sky is the limit for Case Keenum, but I will say this, it was very impressive for the simple fact that the man threw almost double digits in touchdowns. That's incredible. I don't care whether you're D1, D2, or D3. He now holds the record for FBS most career touchdowns. So shout out to Case Keenum. And we'll be right back here on MSU Sports Circle after the break.
When you're thirsty, are you going to depend on a crumpled old dollar? Remind yourself to always bring your Eagle card.
Dude, you need the Eagle card.
Always keep beaker bucks loaded onto your Eagle card just in case. It's the fastest way to make all of your on-campus purchases.
Need a ride?
Call the police and ask for the shuttle. It's free.
MSU Sports Circle here on MSU TV. Guys, this is our second discussion. We're going to talk a little bit of national football. Now, last week we had a new segment called Did You See That? And it involved the New Orleans Saints. This week we have another Did You See That? Also involving the Saints. But Matt, what happened this time?
Was it somebody named Steven Jackson from Oregon State, running back? 159 yards, 2 TDs. This man right here is just—he's incredible. I've said for years he's a very underrated quarterback. Running back. But I think what it is just the team. St. Louis has just been so down these past couple of years. He just really gets outshined by several other running backs in the league. This man is just a Brahma bull going through that hole. It's very exciting to watch.
Absolutely, and I think what impressed me the most is the simple fact that this was a Saints team that just last week, we talked about this before the show, Justin, put up 62 points. And then they turn around and lose by 10 to the Rams. What happened?
It's easy what happened. I mean, you look at a backup quarterback named Feely. I'm a little partial to the name, replace an F with an N, and you got me, baby. That's how it works. But 175 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. The most impressive thing about this performance is the absence of Sam Bradford. I mean, we've heard a lot of whispers of doubt. Feely, no one really knows a lot about him. He doesn't get exactly a lot of love. He came through, handled business. The MVP should be the defense. They overwhelmed the Saints. They were everywhere, forcing fumbles, everywhere you look, forcing turnovers, sacks, whatever you wanted in a defense, they made it happen.
Absolutely. The Saints' defense was tenacious. They had 3 sacks by 1 player they got. Now, that's not to say that Drew Brees did not have a good game.
No, 269 yards. He did his thing. Drew Brees did his thing, but that defense, it was too much.
Now, I will say this. Do you think this maybe sparks a little bit for St. Louis to get a couple more wins, or did St. Louis get lucky, man?
I'd say this is a little luck. I think it's just one of those, hey, let's come together, play hard-nosed football, and let's get this win. Sam Bradford's out. We can still win. But I don't think this is a turnaround by any means for their season. I'm sorry.
All right, and hopefully they'll have Sam Bradford back this Sunday or next Sunday, still recovering from injury. Some things to see. Now, I have a question for you guys, and this is going to be a hard one, but we're going to go there anyway. The Miami Dolphins are 0-7. The Green Bay Packers are 7-0. Here's my question. Of those two stats that I just gave you, 0-7, 7-0, which is the more likely to happen? Green Bay going undefeated or Miami going winless? Justin, I'll start with you.
It's a very tough question for me. One, a blind squirrel finds a nut eventually. Miami might just get that win. An undefeated season is incredibly hard, especially at the talent level of the NFL. But when you look at both teams on paper, Miami still has to play the Patriots, Eagles, and Jets. And you throw in the Cowboys, who can be dangerous when they want to play. If I had to just, answer a hypothetical question right now, I'm going to say I bet on an undefeated season as opposed to Miami winning one.
All right. Matt, what do you say to that?
I think Miami Dolphins can get 1 game. So I'm going to go more likely they end up.
So you're saying the Miami has a chance?
I believe so.
All right. It's going to be hard. They've got a tough schedule, but it's a tough question because let's face it, Green Bay's at the top of the top, Miami's at the bottom of the bottom. So
it's very hard to go just undefeated. Just not winning no games out winless. I just can't see that.
We certainly hope not, and especially from Miami fans. Hopefully the Dolphins can come away with a win, and we hope that you come right back after this commercial break here on MSU Sports Circle.
when you got some homework and you need a place to go. When you're working on a project and your computer is slow, there's a little place on campus that I think that you should know about. The first story of the library is what I'm talking about. Walk past Java City and then you will see the new commons area is where you should be. They got computers and printers, couches, tables, and more. It's the perfect place to go for study time galore.
Welcome back once again. This is the portion of our show where we do our MSU Weekly Recap. I'm Tyler Smith here as always with Devonna Lee. Now, Devonna, the MSU football Eagles had the weekend off with a bye, and they'll continue their action this Saturday against Campbell. I really think that they're going to come away with a W. I think the losing streak is over. Now, I know it's been nothing short of a dismal season, fans, and I know that we've seen some pretty bad games, but I really think they took strides in that Dayton game. And I think that this is going to be the Saturday that they take over and get a W. But we'll move on from football, and we'll talk about the MSU sports that were actually in action. Okay. And that will be volleyball and soccer. Devonna, the volleyball team split over the weekend, had a little heartbreak, but they still did pretty good. Get us up to speed with what happened with volleyball. Okay, I'll start you off with the bad news first.
MSU hasn't lost, well, first of all, MSU lost to Eastern Illinois. And it was just because Eastern Illinois had like some great blocks and they were very aggressive. And then on our side was offensively, the plays were just the worst in the last, like it has ever been in the past like 6 years. Overall match performance. They just brought the ball down and the coverage wasn't strong and they were making way too safe shots. It was just ridiculous. And then they were swinging into the meat of the defense instead of hitting the angles and on the line. So I think that's the reason that they really lost. But luckily, they won a 3-0 against SIU. And also, they have a claim into their 2011 OVC regular season title. And I'm very proud because that's what I called it, and I bet on it. But they started some momentum, and I think they saw what they got, what they did wrong that last game, and so they definitely had some fires matched underneath them and took it all the way. They were just offensively just executing very well, and if they play like this game, they will win against EKU. And really, they haven't even lost to EKU since 2006. So I think they'll be good. Absolutely. And you made a lot of good points there. And I think what happened with the EIU loss is they played a little too comfortably. Right. But then, like you talked about, they came out with fire and passion against SIU Edwardsville. And that's why they have a share of the title. And I really think I agree with you. They should beat EKU and ultimately take the title. So we're very happy. Shout out to the MSU Volleyball Eagles. Good job. Very good job. Now we'll move on from the Volleyball Eagles. We have even more good news about our MSU sports, and that is MSU soccer. Catch us up to speed with what happened there. Soccer won 7-2 against Austin Peay. And really, they just put away hitting posts and missed opportunities this week. They just really made some adjustments in the past weeks, and they put all their best efforts that they ever had this whole season into that game. And they just really need to continue that energy and focus throughout the week. And it was a great way for the seniors to really end out their, season on their home field. It was a great way for them. And also, freshman Sarah Topher, she scored her first goal of the season, so it was great. That was impressive. Now, I hate to correct you, but Sam Topher's actually a junior. Oh, I'm sorry, a junior, sorry. It happens. But with that said, though, you're right. I mean, the seniors came out, they did what they needed to do, and what frustrated me the most, I don't know if it frustrated you, is the fact that they could have spread those 7 goals out for the rest of the season. They should have been playing like that all season long. But that's one thing that Coach Lipka talked about after the game, is the fact that they're finally capitalizing on the opportunities that they didn't take advantage of in some of those other games. Yeah, offensive was definitely on fire, and everybody was making really good plays, and they could have been making that all year, but why cry over spilled milk? No, there's no need to, and the important thing is, you're right, they're in the OVC tournament now. They are a 5th seed, but if you remember,
those same Eagles, that same senior class, back when they were a 4th seed a couple years back and won their first OVC championship of 3. They did it as a 4th seed, so I don't see why they couldn't stand and hold and do it as a 5th seed.
They can. I'll put my money on that again. I knew they were going to get there, so I'll say that they'll go all the way this time. So I'm with them in the volleyball team. My heart's in it.
All right, and I think it's safe to say that all of MSU's hearts are with the MSU soccer ladies. Good luck. And we'll be right back here on MSU Sports Circle after the break.
Hey man, you're not supposed to be smoking on campus. Don't listen to him. It isn't like anyone's gonna know he's smoking a cigarette. That's a really bad idea. Remember, Morehead State University is a tobacco-free campus.
Welcome back once again to MSU Sports Circle. Guys, this is discussion 3. This is an exciting discussion because college basketball is right around the corner. I know we're all very excited, cannot wait for college hoops to come to town. With that said, we'll do a regional college basketball preview. Matt, we'll start with you, and we'll go with the Louisville Cardinals. What's in store for the Ville?
It's really interesting you asked that. We're coming in ranked number 8 in some polls, some 9. Bring a lot of the starters back. We lose one starter with Preston Knowles that really was a key guy scoring. It's kind of early really to say. I know a lot of people, I know college fans that keep up, they seen, they lost their power freshman and Wayne Blackshear, a shooting guard out of Chicago that was a McDonald's All-American and probably was going to be the best player on the team. And a lot of people are probably counting the cards out, saying they probably won't be nothing because he's not there. There's no other really scoring options. But if you ask me, I really believe after going out 2 years, first round, I believe that's motivation to be like, you know what? We have been, a little down a little bit in the tournament. When people don't really see us doing too much just because of one player. And I'm going to repeat that, just because of one player. We have enough pieces. We came in with a top 5 recruiting class. Let's go out there and show the world we can still be a good team. And I think that's what Coach Pitino is going to tell this team. I really believe that. But that being said, it's going to be interesting to say. I'm not going to sit here by any means and predict how far the Cards will go. I'm just going to go with the flow. But I'm just going to sit here and say I still think they can be a pretty good basketball team. How good, that will be determined.
All right, so a lot to be determined in the Ville, but it sounds like a lot of promise in Louisville. That's good. I like to hear that. Now, on the other side, the flip side, we'll go to Lexington. Big Blue Nation, UK Wildcats. Justin, how is Kentucky going to look this year?
First and foremost, the Big Blue Nation has to be loving this roster right now. They are the number 2 ranked team, rightfully so. You have 3, in my opinion, prominent diaper dandies in Teague, Davis, and Gilchrist. Great upperclassmen. It was a big play for them, Terrence Jones coming back, and he's looking better than ever this season. A lot of people were worried mentally, where's he at? Is he going to want the ball all the time? In the blue and white scrimmage, granted it's just a scrimmage, over 50 points, over 15 rebounds. Physically, he looks better than ever. But I'm going to tell you the key to this team is you're going to have to be on the lookout for players like Darius Miller. I mean, with players like this, the back's on the wall. It's his year. Put up or shut up. And, after all, he is the SEC Tournament MVP. You also have solid transfers in Twani Beckham, who's a great addition for them right now. So, as far as UK goes, I feel that it's not overhyped. They are rightfully so the number 2 ranked team in college basketball right now.
Without a doubt, Big Blue Nation has a lot to be excited about. But guys, I'll end this segment talking about the Eagle Nation, MSU. Let's get into our team and how are we going to be this year, Matt?
Coming in, if I'm not mistaken, to finish preseason 5 in the OVC. I just really don't see that. Yes, we lose DeMonte Harper. Yes, we lose Kenneth Fareed and Sam Goodman. But I honestly feel Coach Tyndall will come in and be like, guys, you know what? That's not even worried about what they have to say. Do we have anybody that's on any preseason OV teams? No. It doesn't matter. It's about heart. That's what it's all about for real. We come in and you tell the people, we show the people, we can still be a good team. We can still go out and, I don't necessarily go out and maybe win the OVC, but, be competitive and a fun team to watch.
All right, and Justin, who are going to be some of those players on what I think, Matt, you're right, an absolutely fun team to watch?
I mean, we have some new additions. In my opinion, let me start out by saying, in my opinion, this is the most athletic team Morehead State has ever had. We have 2 guards, in Marcel Holden and DeAndre Matthews. I mean, both are about my height, one of which competed in the dunk contest in Morehead Hysteria. The other can shoot the lights out at 3. Both play tenacious D. Now, losing Kenneth Fareed definitely hurt us. We don't have any legit centers, but we have a lot of great forwards. All can handle the rock, all have a mid-range jumper, and all are ridiculously athletic. We have Khalil Owens, Deontay Ferguson, Milton Chavez, who, in fact, won Morehead Hysteria. And if you were there, this man is an animal, a man amongst boys. And then, we can't leave out T. Hill, senior Terrence Hill, who, the defeat, no disrespect, Matt, to your Cards, a large part of that needs to go to him. I mean, his 4 consecutive three-pointers is what kept him in the game and allowed DeMonte to get the game-winning 3. I mean, we're going to hurt a lot of feelings. Throw those poles away.
I love what Drew Kelly, how he looked in the scrimmage, too.
Oh, come bang with him.
He's in the best shape he's ever been.
He's a 10-10 player right now. I'm calling it a 10-10 player right now.
Without a doubt, fellas, there's going to be a lot of excitement this year in MSU's basketball season. And we have more excitement coming up for you here on Sports Circle after the break.
Please don't throw that trash on the ground. I know someone is watching now. Recycle man, recycle man. Please take care of all your waste in a responsible way. Recycle.
Welcome back once again. Guys, this is our 4th discussion here on the show, and we have a little bit of a shout-out to give, a little bit of love to give to St. Louis. They are the World Series champions for 2011. They defeated the Texas Rangers. They came from 10.5 back in August, and now they are crowned baseball's champions. Matt Johnson, I think you, of all people, have a little something to say, don't you?
These guys really heard my slogan. And I don't know if you remember that from last week, but I said, march to the arch. And I really believe the Cardinals did that. Was we down? Yes, we was down. But we went back to Missouri and said, let's win this series. I'm not listening to what the Rangers had to say, and let's win this World Series. And that's what they did. And I'm proud of them for that.
Absolutely. A lot of pride in St. Louis right now, especially with a win over the Saints, and the Cardinals are world champions. They're partying right now. And they don't need it to be Halloween to have a party. Absolutely. But Justin, I'll ask you, what went wrong for Texas?
First out, shout out to the world champions, the Cards. As a team, they won it. Secondly, Texas gave it away. I mean, let's be honest. They failed to capitalize. I mean, all they needed was one strike. One strike. And your first ever World Series for your club is in your pocket. And you gave it away? That's what it is no heart. You weren't outplayed. You laid down. You gave it away. You didn't want it. You let yourself get down. And then a team who was like, hey, like Matt said, march to the arch. We want it. We see you're down. We're going to kick you while you're down. And you see how it panned out. Right now, Texas should be ashamed of their performance.
And it's got to hurt if you're the Texas Rangers, because now, fellas, that makes back-to-back World Series games, and they've lost both of them. I mean, they've proven to me that they are a legitimate team. I'm not going to say they're an elite team just yet, because I think you have to win a World Series, in my opinion, to be an elite team in the American League, when you have your teams like the Yankees and company. However, this has got to be heartbreaking for Nolan Ryan, the owner in Texas. It's just not a good situation. You lose back-to-back World Series appearances. But give all credit where credit is due. St. Louis Cardinals got the job done. Matt?
March to the arch. That's all I'm going to say. March to the arch. And I told people, yes, I was with the Yankees first, but when I seen where my St. Louis boys was going, I said, hey, I'm riding with them and we're going to win it all.
Without a doubt. And St. Louis did win it all. They took your advice. They took Tony La Russa's advice, a very good manager, and that's why they're the 2011 World Series champs. We'll have closing segments coming up for you in just a moment here on MSU Sports Circle.
What's wrong, dude? Second guessing that cheeseburger? Maybe you should take another look at that before you eat it.
Don't eat me!
Now how could you be thinking of eating that when really you're thinking of a slow-cooked chili-covered Geodog with cheese with your selected choice of chips? Throw that thing away. Located on the first floor behind the elevator.
What about me?
Welcome back. Our show has come to yet again an unfortunate close, but we have got an absolutely exciting close, fellas. I know you already know what I'm going to talk about. College football, the matchup that we have been waiting for, that we have been anticipating for the last couple of weeks. I'm talking number 1 versus number 2. LSU taking on the Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, Alabama. I'm going to stop talking, and I want to see what you guys have to say. Go.
You want to handle this one, or you want me to start us off?
It's either way. I guess since you insist, I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Like you said, number 1, number 2, we haven't seen this since Ohio State and Miami a couple years ago back. This game right here could potentially be one of your winners of the whole national championship of this college football season. This game is just, it's incredible. I'm just so excited. I don't know where to start. I really don't. But I'm just going to say this right here. This game has so much firepower players in it. It's just too many really to name. So me personally, I think for real it's going to come down to coaching. Les Miles versus Nick Saban. Who outcoaches who? Now that's just determined to see. I don't know.
Absolutely. I think we're going to have ourselves a college football chess match, if that's going to be fair enough to say. Now, Matt, I hear you talking about players. Justin, could you highlight a couple of those players?
Man, and to piggyback off what Matt said, I have to disagree. He's talking about coaches. Both great coaches. It's going to come down to great coaching, but what is going to be the determining factor is players. Who wants it more?
But you have to have that jockey running the horse.
That's true, but at the same time, you have to have your boys ready to go to battle. And they have to look at it like a war. Like these guys, it's going to come down to it. Coaches are going to make calls, which is, you know, what Matt said, very important. But at the same time, players have to not only take what the coach said and one-up it. Hey, guys, guess what? We want to win this one. Because to a lot, this is the BCS championship game. And they wouldn't be wrong feeling that way. Number 1 versus number 2, both arguably the top 2 teams in the NCAA. I mean, you got Lee and Jefferson quarterback combos, which is dangerous. Then you got, I'm going to bring it to y'all. Y'all know I'm biased. Trent Richardson. In my opinion, Mr. Heisman himself runs around, through, catches, blocks. I mean, both have ridiculously fast, strong defenses. I mean, this is going to be amazing.
Without a doubt. It's going to be a good game, fellas. I can't wait to watch. But we're out of time here on MSU Sports Circle. Keep it locked here every week on Tuesdays, live at 5. I'm Tyler Smith, Matt Johnson, Justin Neely. Thanks for watching.